This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I don't have a typewriter, but I have seen Crime Wave, a weird little comedy drama from Canada, directed by John Paizs and released in 1985. It focuses on Stephen Penny, a screenwriter working obsessively on the perfect script to a color crime story. But he has an issue that while he's able to write beginnings and endings of stories perfectly fine, the middle of stories is where he struggles. Kim, the daughter of the homeowner where Stephen is renting a space, both narrates his story and supports him during his struggle, even submitting his work to a potential partner, though it comes to light that this may be a grave mistake. The movie maintains a rather swell balance between homage to cheap B-movies of the 1950s and more contemporary filmmaking aesthetics. Cinematography and color help to sell this through the use of light and bright colors that are almost faded, kind of in a way that an old film print from that era would appear today. Shots are generally framed in a static manner, stretching time a bit with lengthy takes as well. Not only is this entirely cost-effective, but it helps pull the viewer into a sense of familiarity, contrasted greatly by the more off-kilter and odd scenes or sequences that take an unfamiliar and somewhat unsettling direction. Though this doesn't occur extensively until later in the film, after Stephen goes off to meet his potential writing partner. When it does happen, though, the film takes on a bit more surreal tone. Not outright absurd, but certainly strange, foregoing the previous aesthetic choices in favor of something more experimental and unusual, as though the previous setting of the movie had been locking out that weirdness. Before then, the oddness usually comes in with Stephen, though more as a means of illustrating his frustration and self-doubt as a writer, effectively halting any previous upbeat momentum in a scene to better illustrate that point. The film's somewhat repetitive nature in showcasing Stephen's failed beginnings and endings also show this off to great effect, completely emphasizing the rut that Stephen has found himself within. However, the story of Crime Wave itself is a bit slow, not really picking up until later in the movie, and focusing primarily on building up the world and the characters of Stephen and Kim. They get a lot of screen time and presence, but are a bit flat and undeveloped, though I feel as though this is part of the central concept of parodying 50s B-movies. Regardless, the two are still fun to watch, partially because of their simplicity, but more in their friendship and chemistry, with Kim being the only one trying to help Stephen, and Stephen in turn accepting her support and opening up to her. It's still a bit barren of any larger depth, but it's not at all intolerable, and overall it's really all you'd need from the two. It just adds to the strange charm of Crime Wave, along with its subtext and art design, which overall makes the movie something that could easily be a midnight classic, or at least something worth renting from the video store, if those still exist. Crime Wave, John Paizs, 1985. 3.5 stars. Again, I think it's worth watching. That's it for the review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. If you want, subscribe to the channel. As for me, this movie made me hungry for cake. I haven't had some in a while, for obvious reasons.